of the internet. Hulk Hogan, of course, was somebody, folks, that, again, I grew up watching. I can't sit here and deny that I wasn't, in my mind, at least a member of the NWO, right? When he was with WCW and he came over and he was riding, you know, I've been rocking with Hulk Hogan. He's definitely one of the icons of this American culture, wrestling culture as well, too, especially, again, another piece of my childhood that I feel has been taken away from us now. And with Hulk Hogan in particular, people, specifically with the black community, feel that, hey, because of some of the things that we know Hulk Hogan to be revealed to us towards the later end of his years weren't as pleasing within the black community. Some people were rejoicing at the news of his demise. Things like that, folks, I would personally say to be cautious of. Is Hulk Hogan been on the record? And I'm hearing, I don't know if this was true or not, but I did also see that the irony of him dying on the time in which he did was that it was the 10-year anniversary of his viral rant that went viral, of course, of him using racial slurs, using the hard R as it relates to his daughter dating a black man. And say he would rather have a pack of hard R's dealing with his daughter as opposed to whatever. So my thing is this: do we overlook that? The question I'm posing, that I pose to myself and I pose to the people of the internet, do we overlook things like that for the sake of just human decency? A man lost his life, right? Some would argue and say, nah, man, he didn't even like y'all. He was openly against your race, your species, your kind, which I understand. People could argue that as well, too. But does that still put me in a space to rejoice at the news of his death? Some people will say, hell yeah, absolutely. Some people will say, whatever, this, that, and the other. Some people, and I think that's the approach I've taken, is kind of just maybe focus on the better side, the part that I did resonate with growing up with him as a young boy, trying to do flips and backflips and choke slams off the bed. Those were the moments I personally chose to think about as it relates to Hulk Hogan. Yeah, one could look at the not so pleasing things, but yeah, that's just my whole take. I feel like ultimately my fault. I'm multitasking. But basically, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like there should be, is there a gray area, or is it just a hard no? Hell nah, up he's a racist? Nah, rest in piss, I saw some people say, right? And whatever. Then you had Ozzy Osbourne, of course, as well too, who's been somebody that's been notorious within the American culture as well. He's been somebody that has been prevalent within the music space, American culture, for over some years, and he also passed this week as well too, Ozzy Osbourne. So a lot of these people, folks, again, cultural icons, regardless of how you maybe felt about them or their contributions to us here in society, it's still safe to assume that there are some things that we could take away from their legacy that we do still appreciate, regardless of their shortcomings, right? Over 10,000 people have signed a petition to rename Birmingham's airport to the UK Ozzy Osbourne International, and blah, 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 blah. Again, pivotal cultural icons. Me personally, I'm not going to sit here and act as if I was well-versed in the life and discography of Ozzy Osbourne, but I am, of course, familiar with his contribution to just American culture, pop culture, as just being one of those people. So, I don't know. I think there's just a humane element that we should all take into consideration, because we're all going to have a turn one day, right? At some point, you too will have a departure date. And I would hope that you would want people to send their well wishes without tarnishing your name and the things that you worked hard to build, unless you, of course, were the one that did it to yourself, which some would argue and say Hulk Hogan did. Nonetheless, those are just my thoughts on that.